Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to this beautiful esports event here today. Good evening to everybody who's just joined us. And for those who have been here waiting anxiously for this awesome action you're going to be getting here, thank you for waiting, because trust me, they're not gonna disappoint the guys out there on the track. So welcome everybody to this Acoria beautiful esport racing league that we have right here. Today we're on the Silervstone track, which is the British Grand Prix. As you all know, it's full of epic turns, epic overtaking opportunities. Yes, King Alpha, good luck to everybody else. And oh yes, same way dude coming from Silervstone right there. So yes, those are two drivers right there in the chat. Just wishing everybody else some real good luck, and it's gonna be one epic time out here, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying the evening, and you got your snacks ready as usual. So yeah, I mean, I got my snacks ready, and I got my drink ready. But yeah, you know, if you don't have any of those ready right now, you know, just to let you know, you're gonna miss out on some action trying to go grab a few snacks there and there, because you want to be glued to your screen the whole entire way. So, ladies and gentlemen, here we are on this beautiful British Grand Prix. This is the Tier 2 Racing League, initially in the first beginning of the stage. Going all wild and stuff. The tongue is just running all over the place. Alright, so we did have, from 5 o'clock, we did have our Tier 1 races happening. So if you missed out on that, click on our YouTube channel and you'll find it there, and don't forget to like and subscribe. But yeah, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, if you check out our links to say in the description, you will see that Trojan Gaming is giving you guys a huge discount on some lacquer hardware for gaming and for normal use, I must say. But let's get rolling, ladies and gentlemen. Oh boy, the drivers are getting ready in the lobby right now, just sorting out a few things there and there. But you know what, let me just put you guys into a bit of a recap, so to say, and let's have a look at the driver standings as they are. Right, as you can see right here, ladies and gentlemen, these are the driver standings for the Tier 2 drivers. So we do have Griever, who's currently leading right now with 77 points, followed by Alicia, our only female driver out here, in second place actually, with 65 points. And then we've got Lucius with 59 points. He's been having a real tough time out there. Then we do have our one and only Prince KB chilling in fourth place position, just really chasing close by as Druas. So the competition between those two drivers is going to be really rough. It looks like, if I'm not mistaken, Lucia's actually got dropped by Alicia, if we're looking at the driver standings right there. So this is really epic, promising things that we are seeing right here, ladies and gentlemen. So that is how it is right now, the driver standings. And then we do have Snacky Boy with 46 points in sixth place position, Paradox in seventh place with 33 points. So not so far away from Snacky Boy, but it is going to be one heck of a close time out there. So, and then let's have a look. Let's see now. So we do have Stefan right there in 8th place position, not far away, and Ruam also sharing that points position, to say, really, in 10th and 9th place, and he's 133 also. It's quite interesting. Two drivers have moved up, actually three drivers have moved up so far into the top 10 positions. And then we do have DTA. This young man has been trying really hard to stay in the points position, and he's got 25 points. And G-Funk, oof, a lot of bad luck for this young man. He's got a lot of potential that he shows us, but he just doesn't manage to get himself into the right places. But here we go. Right. Definitely today we'll be having Microstatic joining us quite soon. Oh gee, was okay. There's a few comments going out there in the lobby, just organizing themselves. But we do have King Alpha trailing right behind there with 15 points, and Grrr in 13th with 13 points. 13th and 13th, 13th with 13th points. Oh my God, such a twist on the tongue right there, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, in 13th place, we do have Grrr with 13 points. And then we got the Drunken Irish. Oof, our young man, he's starting to behave a little bit more these days, drinking a little bit less, the Irish Oak with 8 points. And then we do have Baby with 8 points also in 15th place. And then Drunken Slayer with 6 points in 16th place. Right, let's have a look at our constructors, ladies and gentlemen, as we are now gonna go through to it. Right now, the Ferrari is leading, not so far though, but they are leading with 98 points, followed by the Racing Point of 95 points. Just a 3 points difference right there, but 1 point away. It's the McLaren team in third place. They got taken out there, it looks, and definitely Racing Point is taking that second place position away from McLaren. And then we do have the Renault in fourth place position with 72 points. They still do stand a chance to be in contention to win, or to say to compete against the top three, you know, racing teams, but I'm sure they can do something in Renault right there. And then we do have Red Bull with 59 points, followed by Mercedes with 58 points in sixth place position. Just a 1 point difference, ladies and gentlemen. It is epic, right? It is epic. But here we go. Here we go. Alfa Romeo right there in seventh place with 23 points, and Williams with 23 points. Quite super close between the two teams right there. And the Haas in ninth place with 7 points, and AlphaTauri with 6 points. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will be having Microstatic join us on the commentary today. One of our favorite commentary guys out here that we have on this beautiful esports events that we always host on Wednesdays and on Saturdays. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys are definitely enjoying your weekend out there, and I'm definitely enjoying it. I'm hyped. I just really want to get into the racing right now, ladies and gentlemen. But here we go. As now everybody has lined themselves up in the lobby, they'll be having a short quali session followed by a 50% race. So in the short quali, it will be 18 minutes with a 50% race. So that's around about 26 laps around this British track. And it's going to be action-packed racing that we're going to see. So the other thing is now, we do have the quali session, which is, you know, where we actually see where the drivers are in general, you know, just finding their feet there to see the true potential of these drivers there and there. But without a doubt, it's going to be rockets. You know, we're definitely going to enjoy it, and it's definitely going to be steaming hot today. So I hope you guys are ready for this, because I'm definitely ready for this. I'm hyped. I want to get into it, and it will happen today that we will be getting some beautiful racing out here on this Silervstone track. And oh boy, let's get crafting right here, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, if you're new to this whole entire thing, just don't forget to subscribe and like the video, or should I say the live stream. And also, if you want more details on this racing, if you want to join us in, just check out the links in the description. You know, just join our Discord server. The guys will be keen enough to actually give you all the full details, you know, rock your world a bit there and there, and get things going for you. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen, let's get it going. Let's see how this is going now. We're going to switch over to our quali session. Right, so already can have a few drivers out there just getting ready with their cars. Already going out super early, but let's actually get our telemetry up and see how everything is going. Right, so drivers are out there just joining with the soft compound tires, and you can see right there, Microstatic, one of our commentary guys, will be joining us quite soon right now. But we do have a few drivers going out there already. So Baby and, oh, pardon me, not Baby, jeez, Griever and Druas and Alicia deciding to go out quite early out there, and just to get the feel for the track for now. But let's have a look and see now. Right here, we'll be on board with Griever. So you'll see that it says outlap right there. What it pretty much means that is good luck to the tier 2 guys coming from off there. But what it pretty much means is that it's the lap that the guys are going out, and they're just getting those tires nice and prepped, just a shake and bake lap, just getting those tires nice and warm. That's not looking so great for Griever, but during this outlap, it's where you could really get yourself acquainted with the track as you go through the curves and all of that, and getting everything right, just refocusing, trying to get yourself into a real good rhythm. But yeah, anyways, let's see now. Let's see how this is gonna work out for these guys today. So definitely this track, it's one of those tracks that I do love quite a lot, without a doubt. And here we go right now. We do have Grievo's just started his quali lap, and he's rocking it out there, just really taking those corners nicely without too much drama going through with him. And let's see now. And now as he rocks through, he goes all the way towards Brooklands corner, which is turn 6, as he now takes that medium speed left and a trail breaks into the corner, takes the long right hander, which is Learfield corner right there, which is turn 7, goes past the old start finish of Silervstone, going towards Corpse. Will he be able to keep that foot down, or is he gonna back off? Manages to keep that foot down, gathers a lot of speed on the exit now. Is he gonna keep his foot down all the way towards the next corner, which is Maggots and Beckett's? Wow, geez, starts breaking into Beckett's there, which is really good right there. So that means he's carried out a lot of speed. Make sure he goes through the Hanger Straight, which is now the Hamilton Straight, renamed right now. Now he's going to go through Stowe, takes a real good exit. Oh, beautiful entry coming from Griever so far. He's managing this quite well as he now finishes off going through Club and Vale. Right, so that is now our current fastest time provisional poll. Alright, so Jan, you can unmute right there, Microstatic. You can.
Good evening, viewers. Yeah, no, man, I'd never want to interrupt you, man. You're in the zone, You're in your flow state. Man. I never want to interrupt you. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Acoria British Grand Prix Tier 2. This is going to be fun. This is going to be very fun. Rigo, how did you find Tier 1?
Look, you know what, I'm not gonna lie, that was epic battling, especially on the first 10 laps. The close combat, roll-to-roll racing that has been happening there, it was epic. It's beautiful and clean. The overtakes were so smooth,
Yes.
There was less aggression to the drivers, I must say. So yeah, no, it was really good.
I hope for the same with that Tier 2 here. Grievous had a really good time, just by the way. So I wondered if you're on board with anyone in particular.
Alright, so I've just got on board with Baby right now. He's just started his quali lap. He is now rocking through, going past... let me just try... going towards Brooklands, actually.
Yes, going towards Brooklands now on the Wellington Straight. So the thing about this is you can be courageous with the brakes. The key thing is you must get the apex, which is where those red bars are. He gets it quite well. I think he was trying to be conservative there because this track is very punishing when it comes to track limits. You think you are using the curbs enough, and then it just invalidates you. Very tidy through those corners there. Uses a bit of the track limit to get as much straight line as possible. The infamous Cops corner. We all know why this corner is significant this year. Does it extremely well, misses the apex but maintains the speed. Sometimes drivers do make that compromise. Now Maggots and Beckett, key to sector 2 here. Tenths are made and lost here. Loses a bit more on that second section of Maggots and Beckett's because he had to let up on the gas in order to
on
get the car to the other side.
entry, but I
Yeah.
feel like he should have stayed in a bit there on the right hand apex. He could have stayed in a little bit and then just swung it right around back towards the next apex, which is that exit apex going towards Hangar Straight. But so far, he's managing the car quite well. Look, I must say, I mean, how did you handle that whole entire race in Tier 1?
Yeah, it was very impressive from him considering how much pressure was going in, but now he's in his element. Though I must say the lap needs to be a lot tidier. Obviously we saw sector 2 there was a mistake, but even sector 3, which wasn't necessarily bad, he was missing a lot of the apexes and losing a lot of time, especially in club and stove. So it needs to make sure that he can capitalize, because pole is definitely up for grabs with his level of performance.
So this is actually quite interesting. So DTA managing that kind of time, super close to our pole center, or our provisional pole center currently. I mean, I've never seen DTA, at that current pace, to say, which is a really fast pace that he currently has. But it looks like actually Baby done that whole entire lap without using ERS. I just had a look right now. He's on ERS right now. Ooh, goes out really wide into going on the exit of Corpse there. Doesn't invalidate. Goes through into Maggots and Backets, keeps it planted on the foot there. Gives it a nice good entry. A little bit rough though. That entry went out wide. But he still did manage to get it back up around once again. Now he's going to go through towards Stowe. Will he be able to get the exit right? You see, this corner does tend to be quite tricky and... there you go, straight into the pits.
It is. Box the slap. It must have just been a rush to get into the pits. Yeah, D2A1 is very much impressing me. Tier 1 was setting times in the 25s, high 24s. So D2A1 is definitely within the ranks of the top 5 times at the moment. But obviously, I mean, I'm kind of expecting it, given how consistent he was on the pace at Austria. I think his ability to maintain the car on a lap is definitely improving. So I'm quite confused as to how other drivers haven't banked in a lap yet. Perhaps maybe they think they'll just grab the one lap when the track is at its hottest. But here, honestly, you might as well just use those tires and get those laps in. So I'm wondering what everybody's waiting for.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. And I see none of the guys trying out this track on mediums. But we do have Ryan.
We've got Dragon Slayer on the mediums.
Oh, Dragon Slayer.
Yes.
Let me have a look here.
He's on his out lap right now. He's just gone out. The other thing as well that I'm worried about, which not only do I know just from my race previously and races in general, but just watching. Honestly speaking, a lap takes about 4.5 minutes. You've got about 1.5 minutes for the out lap, then about a minute and obviously the lap time you said, minute 26, then about 1:40 to get into the pits, animations allowing. So looking at this, it would be very, should I say, unrealistic to think that they'll even get 2 laps with the amount of time left if they're not out right now. So I wonder what's going through the drivers' heads who are only just coming out now.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I mean, right now, Dragon Slayer just really ruined his lap right there. I think he did.
Oh, that's an out lap, Rigger. Yeah, he was still.
Oh, it was out lap. Oh, jeez.
He was making
I thought he was on heat there. I saw his ERS going, and I'm thinking, yes, this man is on fire. Yeah, so there's actually a question that just came out of the chat right now. Oh, how's it, Ryan? So this is from TJ. Wow. Oh, jeez, no, G-Funk, no, man, no,
that's poor
man.
from G. That's poor from G. That is unfortunately blocking. I don't think Mr. Dragon Slayer is going to be very happy about that, and I can't even tell how much fuel he has, but I don't think it's enough to do another one on top of this, so I think he has to box and then go out again.
Yeah, I'm the person who actually, I never go with a little bit of minimal fuel to say. I always give myself a bit of at least 2 hot laps that I can post, after the out lap. But anyways, just going back to the chat right there, we do have a question.
Can I answer him?
So, what did you see the question or is?
Yes, I saw it. So what happened was in quali, I saw him behind me. I think I was on an in lap, and he was about to start a hot lap. I assumed it was, and on I think it's after Village turn 3 or 4, just before the straight begins. On the apex, the left-hander, I moved all the way to the right to try and get off the line, but it's still part of the line where I was if you go wide, which unfortunately he did. But even still, I miscalculated the way in which I was trying to avoid him. So my intentions were there, but sadly I just lost the pole. My apologies for that, brother.
No, but you see, you know what happened? What happened at quali, stays at quali, but what really happens in the race kind of doesn't
Yeah.
stay in the race. Quali you can be a little bit forgiving. Yes, it is quite costly for that initial start, but what happened during the race, unfortunately, having to fight all the way from the back for TJ, it was quite rough for him. But we can see right there, ladies and gentlemen, that is what our medium compound tires are giving us right now. Oof.
Sorry, I'm just on board with Dragon Slayer as I
Yeah,
know
I'm
you
also
are.
there,
And
yeah.
he was on a heater. I was wrong about his fuel load. He had more than enough. I was reading the 2.5, the 5.5 as 2.5, but unfortunately that is invalidated, so he probably will have to box. That's not enough to do two laps.
Oh, that's going to be quite rough for him. But we do have Prince KB now.
Yes.
Oh, just gave us, well, I would assume now he's only just started his quali lap. As you can see, the ERS is going right now. And that is looking real sweet from him. A bit of a trail locking in there. Opens up the corner by going out a little bit wide. Hits that apex quite well. Could have accelerated out a little bit earlier, but that's okay. So far, gets into the DRS now, going all the way to Booklands now. Will he be able to do some great trail breaking in here? Just manages.
Brilliant. He gets the apex. The thing is, as well, is it's a weird corner because there's so many ways that you can take it. The key there is getting the apex and the exit into Luffield, which is key. And I honestly think this is a tidy looking lap despite the lockup, only a 10th down in the first sector.
Yeah, so you are right. So you can take that corner, in so many different ways. My preferred line is always through going out wide and then cutting right across towards it, and then I just coast into the next corner. So pretty much carrying out a lot of speed into it. But you know what? It's so weird. I mean, I do gain, and sometimes you do lose if there's an opponent there because you have to back off quite a lot.
Yes.
But let's see now.
Prince KB did lose 6 tenths to the pole sitter in the middle sector, so it should be good enough for top 5, but definitely not pole.
Ooh.
Well, Mercedes have got the
three.
front row as well as the second row. They've got a position there. But I do think there's still a bit more in it. As I say that.
Gee whiz,
There he
yo.
Like I said, I knew that lap wasn't tidy and he needs to tidy it up in order to enhance his pace. There it is. Obviously, track evolution is a big thing in Silervstone. The grip gets better, and Sector 2, where the tents are made, gets better. So definitely a flying lap there from Baby. Just trying to figure out who we can get on board with right now.
So we do have Alicia is currently out there. I think she just started a quali lap. Just got on board with her. Most of the drivers are still out there. But let's see how Alicia backs off.
No, Alicia's not on a flyer. I think that's an outrun in one of the two. No G's in the pits. Lewis is on a flyer by the looks of things. He's flying through Magnussen Beckett.
Oh, jeez, I don't know. I joined in a little bit late onto his onboard right there, but I must say he was a little bit late on the acceleration to get back onto the power. He waited a little bit too long to get the car pointed directly to where he wanted it to go to. But you know what? Coming out of Beckett, I always try to, I'm not gonna wait for the car to align itself with the tarmac to be straight. I always just try to aim for the apex and just hit it hard.
Yeah, that was a more steady lap. It wasn't pushing. Like, it felt like he was just, oh dear, as the car goes straight through, I'm assuming to make some space, but definitely a scary sight to see. Yeah, that was a very steady attempt to go through Magnussen Beckett, but unfortunately some horrendous understeer before the exit going into the DRS, which should have cost him at least a 10th, maybe even 2. Yeah, he's about 5 tenths down on purple first sector, so I don't think this lap is even close to being an improvement.
And also he doesn't have much ERS to actually spend on getting himself a little bit further away from where he is currently. But his teammate DTA has decided to actually go out there. He's currently on his out lap. I think we might as well just actually just move on to DTA. I mean, usually Druas
I'm
is the
on him,
guy
yeah.
leading. He's the guy leading this team to victory. But then it looks like DTA is on fire today. It could have been a huge character change that must have happened today for him to be in front of his teammate.
Nice player swap. But the other thing as well is it's not even just that D2A1 is above Druas by some margin, about 3-4 tenths actually.
Yeah.
That's quite something. So I'm excited to see what will come out of this hot lap. I also want to note that Griever is still in a position to challenge Baby's pole position time because Baby currently in the pits does not have enough time to set a faster time. Griever is currently on an out lap. So is G-Funk at the back straight. And
All right.
D2A1 is in front of G-Funk right now.
So right now, what we'll do is I think we should just have a watch out for DTA's lap for now, and then switch over as quick as possible to Griever and see how he actually does as soon as DTA goes through half of his quality lap right now. As he goes through as he goes towards the first corner, will he be able to keep flat out? Does manage to keep it flat out quite well there. Nice and smooth input coming from DTK. It's an
beautiful
apex.
Well. Yes, he breaks nice and late there, not as late as possible, but very late, and still manage the apex. Gets it again here, DRS. This is looking good. This is looking very good.
Yeah, I think this is the lap, hey? This is the lap.
Possibly.
Oh,
sector. Oh, he.
Yo,
I know the game stays purple. He's 400s off of the first sector.
Jeez, man, this young man is just destroying this. Just 400s faster on the first sector. Will he be able to hang on going through corpse now? Lines it up. Hits apex quite nicely. Oh, just manages to run it nice and wide there. And goes through maggots and packets.
Center one a lot. Needs to ride that first curb in order to get them, but he chooses not to. Think probably to balance the car, but still gets the apexes across. Doesn't go too wide. Now the push to the final sector. He is, however, nearly a second down on purple middle sector. So I do think some time was lost in seconds. You do have to ride all those curves. That's where you get performance. But you also have to keep the car in check. And some horrendous understeer where it
goes into deep,
second to last corner. Yeah, unfortunately the car was probably not agreeing with him. The tire temps were probably not there, and he doesn't improve. Meanwhile, G-Funk has invalidated, sadly. And Griever is in the pits. It looks like this order is decided. Steven is not on a hot one either. King Alpha is. We can hop on board with him. That was Mr. Duck as well. Or Dr. Duck.
That's Dr. Duck. Goes out really wide there. Yeah, you can't save it out of that one right there. So it would pose no threat to anyone if you've just done that. But if he does nail... that's interesting. If he does nail Maggots and Beckets, he might actually come back at it again. Backs off on the entry. And backs off again on the exit. So it doesn't look so great for King Alpha. I think he's lost his mojo throughout this whole entire season for some odd reason. He's just on the last round about 5 races, he's just been off a bit. He's not really feeling himself, to say so much.
But Dr. Duck is on a point of improving his lap time. I just want to see where he ends up as he goes through the second to last and final corner now. Will he improve the time? 100% jumps King Alpha.
Nice done there. That's actually a real good time coming from there. Actually, you know what's interesting is that once again the two Ferraris are right next to each other, and also once again the Mercedes cars are next to each other. Now,
oh dear.
You know, I don't know. I'm just.
We don't like commentators curse, so we will not say a thing on that regard.
I'm not saying nothing. Anyways,
let's just watch the race start.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, here we are. We do have Baby as our pole sitter, followed by Griever, G-Funk in 3rd place, Prince KB in 4th place, DTA in 5th, Druas in 6th, 7th place, Stefan, Alicia in 8th place, Dr. Duck in 9th place, 10th place, second by King Alpha, Joshua in 11th place, and Dragon Slayer at 12th place. Don't jinx it, Rego. Yes, I won't jinx it, Grant. I won't.
We won't say a word. We won't say a word. But I will say this for the AlphaTauri boys: all they need to do is keep a consistent pace and keep it on the track, because incidents are prone to happen to the other drivers, and obviously they haven't shown the best lap times compared to the others. But race pace is a completely different thing, and we've seen that often in Tier 2. So they're not out of the fight in any way whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, these guys have actually proven something right now during this quali lap, is that consistency is there.
Yeah.
So they don't need to rush. I mean, it's a 50% race. They literally do not need to rush to get placings on turn 1 or turn 2, or actually even the first lap.
Yeah. Yeah, and as Wolf has said, Baby has set a T1 lap time. In fact, that lap time is probably good for about a P10, P11 in Tier 1. So
it is definitely
very impressive. Question is, will he walk away with the pace? Here we go.
All right, here we go now. We're about to start the race, and the lights are out, and we're looking real good so far between all the drivers. See a few bobbing and weaving. Oh, Ferrari goes out wide. They're avoiding one of the racers, and we're going through the first corner side by side. A lot of drivers, and it's nice and clean so far.
Unfortunately, except for one driver, King Alpha has lost his front wing, as we see the Williams have gone wide.
Druas goes out. Oh, Druas just span out, going through. Oh, he's managed to keep his car together.
But he spun on his own accord, you say?
It looks like he might have had a tap. Oh, he actually spun out on his own accord right there. But let's get back on with the race leaders right here. Baby's still in front. G-Funk's still there. DTA just moved up a few places. Griever coming back at it. And this is interesting. So I would assume right here Prince KB decided just to lay off and not try to compete for positioning. Goes out a little bit wide there.
But he's getting close to being alongside there. He needs to be careful here though, because Maggots and Beckett's, the driver in front of you will slow down and your downforce is impacted. So if you don't brake in time, you can shunt into them, but they keep it clean as we go to the end of as we go towards the end of the first lap. And Griever, meanwhile,
manages to get it back up again. Jeez, what good control coming from Griever right there.
Prince KB takes advantage from Griever. They're having lost a position. I think his tires are a bit cooked. I think D2A1 had a moment in Sector 2, and as a result, something happened. Something has happened to Steven at the back. And yellow flag in Sector 3, and the Ferrari is back there, still running though. But an incident has happened, I'm assuming, between him and Druas.
Must have gotten spun out side-by-side action. Oh, it's so unfortunate we're missing out on such great action. That just happens all over the place. I mean, everybody's all over the place. You'd expect a lot of action coming from the race leaders also. But let's have a look here. We are seeing Prince KB getting himself really nice and close. He just has to be careful right now. He just really needs to nail those exits and make sure a lot of locking up going through into the corners. He just needs to nail those exits, and he should be able to take on D2A on the straights, because it looks like his setup is working quite well for straights.
Not only that, that is a purple first sector for Prince KB. So at the moment, he is the fastest man on track, and it's clear to see D2A1 is not able to put down the power in Sector 2, and that's how Griever caught him so quickly. And at that moment, Prince KB sends it into Maggots and Beckett. Unbelievable. Elbows out. I don't think it was too dirty, but it looked like it was done, and they both survived it. But D2A1 is not having any of it. Sends it all the way back. Is he going to be able to make the move stick? Brilliant racing! Geez,
but then Prince KB is right there. He's trying to see if there's another door that he could take, right? Oh, breaks in late, goes in for the lunge. A bit of contact between the two drivers. DTA loses it!
They've got contact between the two, unfortunately. Now, I'm not too sure exactly what happened there, because the camera on my side gave me a sort of T-pod view, so I couldn't see the two cars fully into that corner. Obviously, the stewards will have to investigate.
So having a look at that exits from both the drivers, it was a real clean entry between the two. Okay, not really that clean. Had a bit of contact into the entry, but going through the corner, it was okay through Vale, but then on the exit of Vale, it looks like DTA was leaning too much, ran the car wide to, DTA is just, no, why is he doing that?
Oh dear, what has happened?
He literally spun out and went straight for the wall.
On purpose or?
I'm not sure. I mean,
that's interesting.
It didn't look like he was on brakes either.
Okay, and we've got ourselves a virtual safety car as a result. That's unfortunate and confusing at the same time.
Yeah, it's
Now, the question is,
very.
do the drivers decide to ditch the soft and go for a hard tire all the way to the finish, or stick to the... Actually, sorry, it's a virtual safety car. It would not make any sense to pit right now.
Yeah.
My apologies.
But it does work for King Alpha, who spins out. Oh, gee whiz. King Alpha, he had that advantage for going into the pits during that virtual safety car and took the medium compound tires, and he span out on that third corner, so that's not looking so great. So as I was about to say, between Prince KB and DTA on the exit of Vale, going towards the last corner apex, which is quite you could say it's a high speed corner. It looks like his car was just leaning onto Prince KB's car, and he just couldn't get the car right back into shape, and he just got spun out. He just touched Prince KB's rear end and he spun out.
Yeah, it looks like they were both trading blows as far as sends were concerned into every braking zone in there. So it looked like it was going to be fair fighting. Prince KB did lock up going into the left-hander towards the chicane, but he did leave the space. I did see a car's width as they were turning left, so I assumed the D2 would fill that space, but obviously something else must have happened because my angle was not as accurate enough for me to make that assumption. Meanwhile, up at the front, only 7/10 in it between Baby and G-Funk. Goes a little bit wide on the exit of Cops, and that's cost him quite a lot. I think Baby has mastered the tires at the moment because he's pulling out a decent gap on G, who has admitted it's not the best track for him, but is still doing really well. Mercedes looking good with a 2-3 at the moment.
Yeah, no, it's going to look super great for Mercedes if everything carries on as usual.
Ooh! My apologies to interrupt you. We've got a fight here for 6th place between Dragon Slayer, Dr. Duck, and Druas. They got really close going into Maggots and Beckett's, and with DRS, this is going to get tasty.
So I was actually getting on board of that because I saw an attack coming from Dragon Slayer towards Alicia, and I was getting on board of Dragon Slayer, and then now he caught my attention. Baby does a 130.06. That's a blistering time coming from the young man with a lot of fuel in his car still. But right now I'm actually sitting on board with Druas, right? So I just want to... Ooh, Duck getting really close to Dragon Slayer. Oh! A bit of a bump into the corner, shoves him over, but that is just so unfortunate. During the braking, they both braked in quite late. Dr. Duck was just it was too aggressive going into the corner. Racing incidents or not, well, between Prince KB and DTA, yes, it is a race incident. Both of the drivers were just gunning at it throughout the last few corners towards the end, and that's what happened.
I was gonna say I'm not too sure what to call it because I don't have enough information. As Druas makes a move round the inside on Dr. Duck, exceptional driving there, saw the opportunity and took it. A lot of understeer from that Williams of Dr. Duck, and unfortunately it's that kind of thing that is resulting in the penalties dropping like flies right now. Our race leader has a 3-second penalty, and that is going to worry him because as much as he's pulled up a bit of pace on the guys behind, they're not far off. In fact, Grant is only touching distance at the DRS. Prince KB is also in the DRS of Grant, so those Mercedes are going to be barreling down on that Williams very soon.
Yeah, as we can see right here, this Williams here of Dr. Duck is trying. Oh, 3-second penalty there for Prince KB. Oh, that's a bit worrying, but you know what? It's no big threat though for the guy behind him. So he shouldn't worry much, but then he should just keep it nice and clean for as long as possible, because if Baby doesn't get another penalty and he gets one, it's going to be a problem. But we do see that Alicia is trying to defend against Druas right here, getting on board of Druas. Druas is going to get DRS. Alicia no DRS. Alicia doesn't even bother, opens up, stays on the inside. Now question is Alicia going to take it up? Ooh. Allows Druas to just go right past.
I think that was Alicia realizing that there's no point holding this much faster Renault up. She doesn't want to lose time focusing on the car behind and focus on just getting some consistent pace. So that's a smart call from her, in my opinion.
Yeah, that
But at the
is true.
same time, it might bring the guys behind into contention. So she really needs to step on the throttle now.
Yeah, that is actually quite true. I mean, the time difference between the two drivers was literally almost like a second and a half, and he managed to catch up after going through the start finish. So I think that was a wise choice.
Meanwhile, at the front, due to DRS and a lot of ERS burning, only 2 seconds, in fact, a second now, second and 1.2, 1.3 covers the top 3 drivers. Prince KB and G-Funk getting slipstream in this tunnel, and G-Funk definitely gaining a lot of kilometers an hour on the race leader.
Oh boy. Oh, Prince KB needs to cool it off now. He needs to cool it off. He cannot be on the attack on G-Funk. He needs to wait for G-Funk to make a move on Baby, because if he's going to try to attack his own teammate, this is not going to turn out well. As we've seen before on Wednesday, what happened between the two drivers when they tried to take each other's places right there. Both of them spun out, and it just didn't result into a great placing for the team.
Yeah, I think the thing is as well is normally at this point you would expect a Valtteri, it's James situation, especially considering the fact that it's Mercedes. But what do you do here? These guys have very equivalent pace. You can't say this one is definitely faster than the other. But Prince KB has pulled a considerable amount of tenths going through cops there, and is definitely going to be right on his teammates.
Oof, geez, going out wide on that through Beckett's there, it just really took him out there a bit as he loses that distance between him and G-Funk almost trying to make a move. So the reason why I was saying it was just allow G-Funk to make a move is because then they don't have to fight against each other. Get going out wide, trying to go up, Baby goes out wide now. G-Funk gets the exit speed. Oh, we can see Prince KB on the close for it.
Get it done!
Oh, jeez.
Wow. If that's not team play, I don't know what is. It was a bit cheeky, but Prince KB did make it on the inside, so he could fight for it. It's looking like this is going to be a big grudge match. That one Williams. Can you imagine a world where a Williams has to hold off 2 Mercedes? Now, is he going to fight back? Is Prince KB going to fight his teammate? This is brilliant racing for the lead of the race.
So far, it looks like G-Funk is definitely he doesn't have the pace. It doesn't look like he has the pace. I mean, Dr. Duck now is still struggling to take on Alicia. Alicia has no penalties and Dr. Duck has penalties, and you see as they're getting really close now. Dr. Duck is going to get DRS. Get on board with Dr. Duck right here. He gets DRS there. Oh, will he break in lanes?
Sends it right into the corner. Alicia knows there will be a car there, doesn't fight it stupidly, and the Williams gets the place.
I have a feeling there's something going on here.
Oh, something's happened at the front, and G-Funk is off. As we were watching that fight, something has happened at the front. Now, question is, was that a spin on the part of the Mercedes, or did the Mercedes make the contact with the other Mercedes? I'm just looking at race director, but before I do that, okay, I thought Baby was going to be able to make a move there,
my
but
word,
he's very close.
He's baked those tires. He's just losing it completely.
I want to see exactly if there was any collision according to race director in the game, and it doesn't look that way. It looks like it was just a spin. We might be corrected later on, but I think G might have just lost the rears.
Oh, that is just so rough. But damn, we actually had a beautiful... Oh, a lot of locking up coming from Prince KB right there. I think he's now starting to feel those tires. Ideally, you want to take those tires at least to lap 10 or 11 and then swap over to the soft compound tire. Medium compound tires to say. Oh, this is not looking so great for G-Funk. He's most already devastated.
Now, I just want to make a point here, Rigo. Now, as much as we are seeing a lot of lockups, which means Prince KB is butchering his tires as far as how far they can go, Prince KB is without a doubt the fastest man on the track. Not only is he only a 10th off of the fastest lap time that was set by Baby in clean air, but also his last lap was a 1:36. Baby was looking at a 1:31.1. So it looks like, and just by the gap alone, I think when we started talking a few seconds ago, the gap was about 1.5, 1.6. And here we are, it's looking at 2.6. So I think Prince KB is definitely pushing, but something has happened. There's a Ferrari stranded in Sector 2. It looks like Steven has had an off. Yes.
Oh, Steven is just not having a great time this week. I mean, Alicia in the Ferrari is doing quite well so far, just maintaining that steady pace. But we do have, as you were saying right there with Prince KB, he is actually sitting on that ERS, using that ERS with every chance that he does have. You know, he's definitely not saving up any ERS. He just wants to create more distance between him and Baby.
And the thing is now, because Baby has also joined the penalty club, this is all for track position. And obviously, I don't think he'll be able to get the fastest lap with this stint on the tires because his ERS is quite low, Prince KB. But also, the tires are pretty dead. It's at this point that Jeff starts calling you in. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing the pit stops. There is one right now, obviously the Ferrari trying to compensate for the off, yes. But I think that was more to compensate for the off. I think the tires were a huge indicator for him. And it's not really wise to stretch a stint in a Silverstone. The lap is too long and you lose way too much time.
What actually to think about this, not to say that we need anything.
Oh, yeah, there it is. We've got ourselves
I was about to say, not to say we need anything.
To King Alpha. I don't know what's going on with that car.
He's struggling. He's struggling. Oh, broken wing. So I was about to say we don't need anything, as in like we don't need a safety car, and that happens. So now.
So it doesn't look like anybody's necessarily going to gain or lose from this.
Staying out is a bad idea. Druis will gain.
Will Druis gain? Let me see the tire age.
Yeah, he's got
he's already. Yes, so he's just pitted. So, that was a brilliantly timed pit stop for Druis then, because he must have pitted before safety car. Yeah. His tires are fresh, and while everybody dives into the pits and the teams have to do a bunch of double stacks, if he can just push the car, Delta allowing, to the other side, he might be able to make some positions. But
that's interesting. Prince KB goes out for a set of hard compound tires, which, I mean, the mediums can go all the way to the end.
Go all the way to the end, yeah. That might have been a mistake. It might have been an issue in the game. It might have been an incorrect strategy selection. He might have forgotten to switch to the mediums. Who knows what happened there? But unfortunately, that just means that Williams and that Racing Point will be barreling down on that Mercedes. He's got strong pace, but that's on the same tire.
I was about to say, you know, it just also depends on how much of his pace is left with these hard compound tires. If he's going to lose half a tenth, or not half a tenth, but if he's going to lose half a second on each lap with those hard compound tires, then I think then it's okay. It should be okay, because he was almost a full second faster than anybody else. So he just needs to get them lit up soon, and everything will be good. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, as it stands, we now currently have a safety car, and we do have Prince KB still leading the race. Managed to take that away from Baby, but Baby now is in second place with fresh medium compound tires. If I was Prince KB, I'll be super aggressive on this safety car and just try to light those tires up as soon as possible. And then we do have Griever in third place position. I think he's just managed to come back at this now, it looks, this Racing Point. It did have a bit of a problem initially. He fell down a bit on pace.
Got himself back up,
yeah.
And the other thing as well, I just want to answer someone in chat who said we turned away from the Mercs too soon. We're so sorry. We were watching another fight between Alicia and I think it was Dr. Duck. So our apologies for that, unfortunately. But
that's
there's more bad news. Yeah, there's more bad news in the Mercedes camp. G-Funk has accumulated 16 seconds of penalties. I'm assuming one of them possibly came from speeding under the pit lane, which is unfortunate. It's also something that I had happen to me as a result of a glitched collision in the pit lane that gave me 10 seconds of penalty. So it's unfortunate. Have we reported safety car in this lap? Not as yet, have we?
Yeah, Wolf is not happy. I was about to say safety car, and it just happened. It's not something I wanted it to happen, but it just happened. I wanted to say it, but it just happened. And just note that safety car is happening at pretty much similar time as the Tier 1 safety car happened.
I think Prince KB is probably going to be regretting this decision, because the medium tire can do 16 laps of pure racing easily. 16 laps of safety car and pure racing will be even better for them, because they're burning mileage without even torching tires, and I just want to check if that's real. Yes, I can. I can see Prince KB's temperatures. His tires are at 68 degrees Celsius. Those things are frozen solid. He needs to start warming them up soon because they will cost him.
Yeah, so as I was about to say, so he needs to focus when he resumes this race. He definitely needs to focus. I mean, if we're looking at the penalties right now, Baby's got a 6-second penalty.
6 seconds, yeah.
He just needs, Prince KB just needs to defend for a bit until those tires light up a bit, and then you can get going once again. But now he does have Grievo as a more aggressive driver. He's gonna want to have a part in this whole entire thing because he does stand a chance to take that pole position away from Prince KB if he goes right past Baby soon enough. And you know what, Druas, I'm not sure about him if he's going to be able to mount an attack on the guys at the top. But Duck and G-Funk do stand a chance to make it up top. But you see now, will Dr. Duck be as aggressive as usual? We can see he's got 8-second penalties.
Oh, okay. I did not see that, yeah.
His aggression through the racing pace that he's gotten out of that is just, you know, penalties. Now,
So-
question, yeah?
Yeah, sorry, go on. Question?
So now the question is now, how, like, is Prince KB gonna hold everybody back, or is he just gonna cruise along with the safety car to the starting line? I mean, that's not a bad idea.
The idea is Silverstone doesn't have an easy start-finish straight where people can gain on you on the slipstream. So it's not like you have to back everybody up until that straight like you would in, say, Spain or Italy or Baku, for example, to
That-
prevent the slipstream from being used. So he could just catch everybody napping here when he can.
Yeah, but then the thing is now he can run really wide with those hard compound tires instead of now not up. You see, as we see right there on that last corner,
He got a bit of a tank slapper, yeah. He had some oversteer, so the rears weren't lit up enough yet, or one of them at least, and he did get a bit on the power too much. But we are racing, and he has gotten a good getaway as Griever and Baby get incredibly close. Has somebody lost the wing?
So
Yes.
somebody losing. Oh, Griever
lost his wing,
close.
so I did see that in the peripheral of the Prince KB angle, and he did get too close to Baby's gearbox there, which was unfortunately his fault. Baby was just in that position.
This is, it looks like Alicia got a 5-second penalty. That's muscle speeding in the pits there. We can see now Baby's actually struggling to make any moves on Prince KB now. Let's see how this is gonna go now. Will Baby be able to get those tires rolling once again? We can see.
But this is the problem where this is the area where Prince KB has a big problem in the Maggots and Beckett sector 2 in general. In fact, the hards are going to be painful, especially hards that are still needing to switch on, because the hards need about 4 to 5 laps before they become effective. And we can see even without DRS, Baby making some really good gains on that Mercedes. Not enough to make the overtake work though. The Prince KB is going to be watching his mirrors a lot.
Yeah, if I were him, I'd just really focus on my racing line. Just keep an eye out on the mirror. Oh, Baby makes a bit of a tank slap on that exit right there, almost losing the car. Baked the tires a little bit too much on the exit on power, but loses out a bit on pace there. Oh, if he had that right, he would have been right behind Prince KB. But I must say, the only thing that Prince KB needs to focus on is just to nail those racing lines and try to nurse those tires into temperature as much as he can. Towards the braking zones, the only thing he needs to do is just to watch out how far Baby is and then just place the car in the right place. Baby will have to struggle and think, how is he going to do it? Because, you know, if he tries to go on the inside, that inside will be closed off throughout the corner.
Yeah, I think the dirty air is messing with Baby, who, as much as maybe on the faster tire, he's not getting on the faster line, and he's losing tense to Prince KB. You see, he makes them up a little by little because the medium tire is inherently faster, but then he suffers from it as a result, and that's bringing Druas into play, who's also only half a second in it, in this fight for P1.
Oh boy, Druas is now on some real good magic here. G-Funk trying to chase relentless. Oh, gets a 3-second penalty. Oh, G-Funk is just collecting those penalties now, trying to chase down the guys. Dr. Duck is actually on one flying lap right here. Purple middle sector.
Yes, that is verified. Dr. Duck has absolutely killed it in the middle sector there. Prince KB doing a really good job of holding this Williams back. Now, however, DRS is coming into play
Ooh,
as Baby
jeez.
and Lewis set the fastest lap, so they are clearly pushing behind this Mercedes. Do we have DRS? Yes, we do. DRS is enabled this lap, and both the cars behind Prince KB, according to the timesheet,
Am I
get it.
seeing a bit of a drizzle?
Oh yeah.
So now actually they can still go all the way to the end with these tires even through this drizzle, but the problem is now those hard compound tires are going to start to actually lose temperature a lot quicker than the medium compound tires. Oh, the dive in there just helped him out to get himself close. Oh, Prince Kevin locks up a little bit of a tangle. Oh, what? Okay.
What?
What the
Okay.
hell?
That does not make any sense to us, but the rain is arriving. It's not something that we expected, and it's giving the medium tires a lot more advantage now because the hards are literally going to be a slip and slide. But Druis is now taking it on Baby as well. As, by the way, I wanted to update the G-Funk sustained some wing damage. Druis gets the position through Maggots and Beckett's, but now both these cars get DRS, and I think there are some spins going on because of this wet weather. Steven has had an off in Sector 2. Now, though, who's going to emerge safely with the position advantage here? Oh, they all decide to just back off.
Yeah, look, I wouldn't try my luck on that one right there. Stefan is just going sideways currently. Oh, close one right there under braking zone. Jesus, Baby needs to get this right. His braking points need to come back right. If he wants to get close to Druis, he needs to get those braking points right. As you can see right there, Druis is just lit up his tires. He's flying. He's trying. Sorry. Oh, virtual safety car.
Oh, virtual safety car.
Okay, that's a problem.
I believe that is possibly due to Joshua Knott.
What?
Oh yes, has the car. Oh no, that's Dragon Slayer going into the pits for a new wing. But I see Joshua Knott, Dragon Slayer's teammate in the other AlphaTauri, has been grayed out. Was that a retirement? I wonder.
I think it might have.
Find out.
Might have had a spin. I mean, drive-through penalty. Oh, that's gonna be rough. Doctor Duck was the guy with
and
pace.
King Alpha has the same fate. Unfortunately, they did not
Prince
pay
KB
attention.
spins out on those hard compound tires. So I was about to say the hard compound tires with that virtual safety car, it has now caused a big issue now. They dropped off in temperature and oh boy. So now the thing is what Prince KB can do is just go out, just like go out for a set of softs and hope for the best. Or try to bring the temperature back into the hard compound tires. Just try.
Oh, we've got to move at the front for P1 as Baby gets the overtake down on the DRS for Druis. My apologies for interrupting.
Oh no, it's perfectly fine. And actually, I missed out on that action. Actually, it would have been an awesome action to actually have a look. But yeah, it's quite an interesting one right here now. As the guys are now in these slippery conditions, we do see Alicia now has moved up to third place position, and I think Baby doesn't. Oh, Baby gets a 3-second penalty. Oh
dear. So here's the problem. Baby might have P1, but not only does he not have the pace to hold it off, because Druis can definitely fight him back. Remember how we were talking about D2 being faster than Druis? Well, Druis has decided to show his real face with this race. But now Baby has got 9 seconds of penalties, so that P1 is very unlikely to stick with him. And Alicia, however, is fighting for track position with Griever because Alicia has 5 seconds, Griever has 6. So that fight is definitely for track position. And I also wanted to say, on the note of strategy, you're right, Rigo. The only safe move here, if you're going to pit, if it gets too messy on the wet stuff, is to go for the softs. It's way too far for inters and no other tire makes sense. But the question is, what does Jeff say? Will the rain get worse? If not, it's much smarter to just go all the way to the end.
I mean, I know definitely Prince KB hates the rain, but I think he needs to go for that soft.
As you say that, he's unfortunately made a horrific mistake. I switched to it because I saw Mercedes. Yeah, I switched because I saw Mercedes in the yellow in the, what is that? That's still the first sector. Yeah. And he has switched to the absolute wrong tire. It is way too dry. This is looking like Lewis Hamilton in Hungary at that hilarious start. Absolutely no grip, absolutely nothing. And that's going to cost him even more positions now because he will have to pit. If not, everybody else is just going to walk over him.
I think, you know what, he needs to pit it. Softs. Look at those
Yeah, soft.
inters running so wide. Oh
I think
boy.
the other thing as well is the drivers need to get acquainted with the fact that inters is for when it's absolutely wet. That's the thing about this game. Like, what you can run inters when it's just pouring, but not before that, because they do overheat and are just relentlessly horrible to drive in the dry. Whereas the softs, even though it's going to be a bit tricky and you need to be careful, do some lean revs, you can do it in the drizzle.
Oof. Go into the pits. Go into the pits. Oh, stays out. Okay, it's okay. Oh, I don't know.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
don't
I
know.
honestly don't know about that because it's
mean-
not even close to being wet enough, and now G-Funk is G-Funk on his way. Oh, gets an overtake down on Dr. Duck. How is that happening? Oh, Dr. Duck's in the pits for driving.
Yeah. So now the thing is, Dr. Duck is doing the drive-through, and King Alpha hasn't done the
King Alpha
drive-through.
is
But
as well, yes.
I have a feeling most of the time our tier. Ooh, here comes Truus on baby now. Ooh, getting himself really close there. Oh,
Really
virtual safety
close.
car. Oh, it has gonna help
That's
Dr.
because
Duck.
King Alpha was not in the pits for the drive-through. I had just switched to him quickly. He had an off in sector 1 again and completely destroyed the wing. Is that car still moving? Yes, it is. But oh, as I say that, it moves in a bit of a peculiar direction. Little donut. Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
I know, I'm really, it's a little bit frustrating, you know, like, drivers really need to, you know, they need to watch the tier 1 drivers. I mean, look at the
Yes.
Wednesday race, you know, the guy stuck out with the medium compound tires on rainy session. I mean, you would assume that the inters would be ideal, but oh, he was just losing out a little bit there on the tail. But you would assume, oh, Stefan gets it drop.
Oh, what? As Steven gets a as a drive-through penalty for the Delta. What's happening with Druss now?
He's just not, he didn't get those tires lit up properly. He's too impatient getting onto the power. Yeah, he needs to get them up to temperature once again. Now, Alicia just rocking up there, getting herself
Under
really
racing
close.
conditions, this is going to be a big fight for P2 on the other hand, but Druss can still maintain it even if he loses the positions because they've got bigger penalties than him, but his tires seem to not be working as well.
Yeah, I mean, these guys really need to watch the tier 1 races and, you know, just to learn from what's happening there. Because, I mean, you know, that's a rookie mistake, you know. If the tier 1 guys could do it, just have to learn to adapt to it. I mean, the conditions are still fairly good. They're fairly good. I can see how these guys are going through Megats and Beckets. It's not too much. Obviously, a bit of more backing up from the throttle, but they do get it right.
And the other thing as well is you can take a car in some reasonably wet conditions really far, as long as not only, as you say, you're gentle, but put it on lean revs, use overtake only on the straights, short shift. There's so many ways you can get a car on the dry tires in a drizzle race. Like, it's not that difficult, but unfortunately that knowledge isn't, you know, there, as you say, and they need to watch tier 1 races because they panic and just dive into the pits for a set of wets when it's looking a bit tricky.
But now we are looking at Griever, goes straight into the pits and goes out. Question is he going inter or is he going soft? Inter or soft? And he goes inter.
And I don't understand that myself because he was practically, unless, so here's the thing. Baby is the type of driver, and I know he's got a bunch of people in his ears advising him as well in Discord. Baby is the kind of driver that will probably have asked Jeff, what does Jeff think? What is Jeff saying about the conditions? And perhaps Jeff has told him it's about to get even more wet, or maybe even that the dries were just falling off for him. My problem with this is that because of Druss's mistake, Baby was going to win the race. He had a 13-second gap. He was able to go all the way. King Alpha still causing another sector 2. He's not having a great time. So the question is this gamble the right one for Baby?
Now, the other thing is, can Druis hold back Alicia? Because so far, Alicia's holding it nice and steady, keeps those tires in great temperatures so far. Look at how close she's getting through. Megats and Beckett's just giving the car a bit of a tease all the time.
Yeah, I'm going to answer myself with the question I asked before. It looks like this is Inter's where the Baby has just pulled an entire second in that second. So I think it has gone to the point where the Inters are faster. and Baby might have pulled it right out the bag by going so early. Yes, they're all diving in now. So Baby did a fantastic job going in there for the Inters, but the question is, will we get a virtual safety car of some kind because of a Mercedes in the middle sector? Oh, sorry, final sector. It looks like it's G-Funk. I'm not sure what's happening
G-Funk
there.
is definitely struggling.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's definitely struggling.
Now the question is, hopefully Prince KB is not going to forget to do his drive-through penalty, because he does have a tendency of just being focused in the race and not actually, looking at the finer details that are coming up. He just needs to get into that drive-through. He needs to go now. This is the best time to go now. Not track position. Carries on. He's gonna get disqualified on the next one if he doesn't go in. I don't know how many laps he's done of that drive-through penalty on.
Yeah, it looks like Baby's move there has given him possibly
disqualification.
As you call it. So I would expect that Jeff would be screaming into your face, and the screen would be lighting up with the notification. Now sometimes the game has a glitch where the notifications don't show up at the top, but even still, Jeff tells you that you've got a certain kind of penalty, so that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, see that focus instant sometimes just works against him. I mean, he was on a really good stint. Yes, he pitted a little bit too early for those Inters, but you know what? He got it right. Oh, Baby goes out wide on the exit of Meckett, and Beckett's right there. Oh, okay, well, he is way up top at front, so that's not a big issue for him. But now this battle between Alicia and Griever, looks like Russ has now managed to pull a good one out of it so far. So Alicia is definitely struggling through the Inters, but she is keeping to the racing line nicely.
Yeah, and the other thing that I wanted to say is Alicia has the podium. She has served her penalty, which was a 5-second penalty.
Oh, yeah.
Griever has penalties due to corner cuts, 9 seconds of them. So all she has to do is to get this car to the finish line, and P2 is resolved. Clearly, they're not going to catch through us because Griever's got quite a gap to him, and it's not enough laps remaining and not enough pace on these drivers to get it done. But the way it's looking, Alicia gets a podium. Ferrari is on the podium for Tier 2, as long as she keeps it together.
Yeah, look, and we're not going to be getting any safety cars of the very few laps that we have right now. The game just does not allow safety cars at this time of the stage, so there's nothing else. Ooh, G-Funk gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pits. Oh, come on. This guy is definitely...
That's an accumulation of about 24 seconds now.
Are we going to get another disqualification for the Mercedes team now once again?
I think that the game lets you get to about 35 before Michael Massey decides, you know what, no, you're gone.
Alright, so now the battle is still on now. We do see Alicia's trying to slowly but surely catch up to Griever. If she can actually complete a move on Griever and push on to get herself closer and closer to Dwers, it'll be great. But obviously we can see Griever's managing to get massive gains on exit most of the time.
And not only that, unfortunately, it's an impractical thing to try and aim for. Not only because the gap between Griever and Dwers is 16 seconds, which is way too much for Alicia to be closer to get that penalty to help her out, but also because if she pushes, she risks binning the whole thing. I think it's just smart to maintain the pace she has right now. Griever's got 9 seconds of penalties. He will not be able to drop her by 9 seconds. She must just maintain her pace, keep the car on, and she will get that P3.
Yeah, these are really tricky conditions, right? I think these guys do definitely need race engineers, race engineers coming for them. I would say that all the Tier 1 drivers should be doing race engineering for our Tier 2 drivers, just to get them to make the right decisions. I know it's quite hard to listen to somebody else, but remember, there are guys who can do it better than you, and they know a little bit better. You have to stay open-minded in most cases.
And in fact, I'm pretty sure, apart from Baby's own intellect, which is really great, as we've seen based on how he's been doing in this Tier 2 of the league, but just in general, I know for a fact that he was advised to pit early for those inters, and look how beautifully it's worked for him. He is pulling out the lead very nicely, holding it at 16 seconds. He is confirming his win here very easily, as unfortunately the map is still being lit up with yellow flags. The alpha of King Alpha is not having, I almost thought I was losing my mind there, is not having the easiest time of it, but is still contesting for 2 points in the drivers.
Yeah, what he needs to do is just to take it slow and bring the car home.
Just get it to the checkered flag. It'll arrive. In fact, what would probably be smart, because he's in no position to maintain, or rather challenge for a better position, is he should just drive as slowly as possible while maintaining a safe drive to the drivers coming behind, because then he gets the checkered flag a lot sooner because they have lapped him hard.
Oh boy, so the distance between Alicia and Grievous still maintaining at 4 seconds there. Oh boy, King Alpha might get himself a little bit too rough a bit there. Might get himself disqualified. Hopefully he's getting those 3-second penalties for just exceeding track limits, not for cutting corners.
Yeah, it's looking like it's track limits, and it's been happening quite a bit, but it's thankfully only half as many penalties as G-Funk has, who I assume is the cause for the yellow flag in Sector 2. That Mercedes is also not having an amazing... we didn't even try to jinx them, and yet look where we are. I think Mercedes needs to have a team meeting, restructure their focus and the way in which they handle their races, because it's not looking good for the Silver Arrows here in Tier 2.
I mean, like, as teammates, you would actually have a communication. Let's say if the other teammates behind you is a whole lot faster, then he needs to wait. You talk to the other guy, you're like, listen, take me on the straights, I'll let you by. Don't try to take me on corners. I mean, going through corners, you can't take on your teammate through corners. There's so many mistakes that could happen. On a straight, it's a clear cut. Your teammates can even brake on a straight, just to allow you to go past. But you know what? It's just a whole entire thing of communication between the drivers. As you can see right here, Alicia's still managing to maintain the difference between her and Griever. Griever's really trying hard to keep away from Alicia. Alicia seems to be starting to push a bit right now.
So here's the thing, the only 2 battles we have remaining on track at the moment, allowing for, assuming everybody makes it here with no spins after this, is Alicia and Griever, with Griever trying to keep that gap, to get that gap to be 9 seconds. And he's not doing too badly a job of it, however. Yes. But we are starting the, where are we, second last lap now. So Alicia will be starting lap 25 at the end of this. And it's up to 6 seconds now. So I think she does need to get the hammer down if she wants that podium. The only other battle that we have on track is between Dragon Slayer and Steven. But because of the time penalties, Steven's already got that position. He just needs to make sure that he stays there or gets the overtake done, which looks like it might happen. It looked like it just has happened because Dragon Slayer has had an off as I said that.
Jeez, G-Funk and his penalties, young man. So, as I'm looking at it right now, Alicia needs to get onto the ERS on the straights. She's got a lot of ERS to spend on the straights, and she's starting to lose a lot of pace and focus. Definitely, there we go. The ERS is coming into play now. She must push that ERS. She's getting the braking points right, racing line right. She just needs to use that ERS, because if I have a look right there, Griever's also got a ton loads of ERS also. So he can also push ERS on the straights. Let's go, Alicia. Get the ERS on the straights. That's all we need to do.
Yeah, it's something that I'm trying to highlight to guys, trying to coach her, because she's got way too much ERS in the tank. They probably told her to save it for the last lap, but now she's in the danger zone because we're about to start the final lap. In fact, our race leader has just started the final lap, baby. Cruising to the finish line with an 8-second gap. Meanwhile, Drew's cruising to that P2, and Griever trying to stop Alicia from taking that P3. 7.3 seconds. Can Griever get that up to 9 seconds? Can Alicia maintain it down? This is where it'll be decided.
Yeah, it's quite rough. This is from the chats there. Yes, it is raining. Yeah, G-Funk and his penalties, I've got no idea. He needs to get himself right. Definitely, I think a huge discussion needs to be made, as you've said, Microstatic, with the Mercedes team. They need to have a real good chat with each other. I mean, like, really, you can see your teammate has got more pace, then patiently talk to each other to say, young man, I'll take you on the straight, you know. You don't need to take you don't need to take on your teammate on a corner, you know, even though you are trying to solidify a bit lead, but it's not worth it.
Yeah, it's definitely something, but in general, like, the thing that you see with Tier 1 is we are good at racing not only because we're fast, but because we think of the long game. You know, it's not worth risking one corner for an entire race. There's so much you can do. Just be consistent, time your maneuvers, and you will be rewarded. Whereas if you send it along, you're not going to be consistent. You're going to be in the DNFs and disqualifications more than you are going to be in the points. And that is the case with the Mercedes, unfortunately. I think with G, though, we've seen that this isn't a track that he's strong at, but also just keeping the car under him is another thing that he needs to work on just on this track. But obviously, we all have those tracks. As we've just missed, our race leader, take the checkered flag. Baby takes P1.
Oh, that's a great well done to Baby now. He's just now managed to lead from quali 2 to grid, actually. Oh, Griever, what?
Yeah.
What happened there? Another penalty, panics and ruins everything.
But unfortunately, even without the penalties, Alicia did exactly what she needed to do as Druas takes P3. Druas takes P2. Griever takes P3 on the track, but Alicia crosses the finish line to take the podium. Fantastic work.
Yeah, this
brilliant.
is just brilliant. It's beautiful work done by Baby, just really being really consistent and just, you know, focusing on his race. And also we do see that Druas, he tried his best. He is that driver who came out of nowhere from the middle of the pack, to say, and he managed to get himself a good position, which is that second place position. And then Alicia just really maintaining that steadiness, to say. I mean, it was a little bit frustrating to see her just give people away. To give away those positions. I mean, she let go of like 4 positions during the race, and guess where? No, she's right up there. It's third place. That's a well-deserved third place for that Ferrari lady right there. And Griever tried his utmost best to keep it nice and clean, but it was a little bit too rough for him. He did have a few other encounters, but it is what it is.
I'm impressed with Alicia because she was the driver that showed the brains. You know, she wasn't necessarily the fastest, and she let people by when she knew it's not worth fighting. I have a strategy, I have a plan, stuck to it, and there you go. A nice helping of 15 points to her constructors and drivers record at the moment. Brilliant.
Yeah, that's a congratulations to Dragon Slayer. They're getting driver of the day. But
yes.
Yeah, what a wonderful race we saw in the beginning, and then the whole entire wash up of the rain just really changed up a lot of things. I saw a lot of guys definitely had their strategies set, but the rain does bring up something. I think, you know, that's one big thing that they did not look out for, is having a look at the weather conditions for the track. That's one flaw that the most probably didn't have a look at. But yeah, you know, to make those decisions, you need to look up ahead. It's not about the current racing lap or race lap you're taking. It's all about the next laps that you're going to take. You can't waste your tires now. You have to make sure you push them out throughout the whole entire race. So congratulations to Baby, Druas, and Alicia for getting those podium finishes.
Yeah, and fantastic work from the other drivers for still maintaining the points. King Alpha gets his finish, gets those 2 points, which will be valuable in his fight in the drivers championship where he is. G-Funk still managing to get it to the finish line, albeit with 36 seconds of penalties, but still a finish is a finish. And a very topsy-turvy British Grand Prix, but when is it not, to be honest?
It's always a dramatic one. I'm not gonna lie. It's been an awesome, joyous time out here, and this beautiful weekend, this beautiful evening that we have right here. And I must say, I'm completely boggled. It actually shows when you got your things right, and if you don't push too hard, and if you just focus, you get things right. I had a feeling Prince KB could make a huge comeback from what he had, but yes, I think he could have been there, definitely.
It's unfortunately the decision making that needs to be improved, because we saw the interstop was way too soon, and just with regards to like picking your placements when it comes to where you're gonna fight. Rather, especially in tier 2, make it a unanimous overtake rather than sending desperately, because it can cost you and it costs a bunch of drivers today. Whereas the drivers who are at the front right now are the drivers who kept their cool. You know, they may have lost a couple positions here and there, but they kept the cars under them, and that's what matters in this.
No, it's been an epic race. It's definitely been an epic race. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, what a beautiful race that we saw here today. Tier 2 drivers rocking it out on the Silervstone track, which is the British Grand Prix. So thank you for joining us today. I mean, I've had an awesome pleasure of having Microstatic here with me doing commentary. It's such greatness that we have here. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys have an awesome evening. It's been beautiful. Thank you guys on the YouTube side and the guys on Twitch.
Yeah, once again, it's a pleasure, Mr. Rigo, and to everybody here in the league. Congrats to the drivers for yet another entertaining racing, bit of racing. If you want entertaining racing, look no further. This Wednesday, coming up in Acoria, I just want to get my facts straight. We have got the Belgian Grand Prix. We are on our way to Spa to see Eau Rouge. So expect a lot of spills, a lot of dramatic fights, and a lot of overtaking, given the amount of straights we have in this section. A lot of DRS zones where you can get some really good overtakes done. So look for us here on Wednesday on Twitch and YouTube, and you'll see yet more exciting racing. Thank you, Mr. Rigo, and to all of you, thank you very much.
No, it's been an awesome pleasure, but definitely I must say that Rouge, it's either you lift or you don't lift. Put the balls on the line or you don't put them there. I don't know. It's like you lift, you save yourself, but you lose out some positions. But if
the
you
thing
don't
is,
lift,
the cause of sorry.
Yeah, no, I was about to say, like, the thing is, if you don't lift and you get it right, the reward is great. But if you don't lift, you end up somewhere.
Yeah, the thing is, this generation of cars are able to do a flat-out Eau Rouge, and they're very close to doing a flat-out Pouan, which is the big left-hander in the middle sector. But you need to have not only the racing line right, you need to have your car under control. So if it's being used to your setup, your tire temps, all of it, because Eau Rouge can be punishing, and if you do get it wrong, it's a very horrible place to go.
Yeah, but anyways, ladies and gentlemen, what a beautiful evening we've had here. Thank you very much for joining with me. It's been an awesome pleasure. But yeah, everybody, good night. That's it from me, Rego, and also Microstatic. It's here with me, but it's been an awesome time out here. And I hope you guys are ready to rumble on the next race that we're going to have next week on Wednesday. So just watch out for it. Just remember, we're always here on our YouTube channel. Just like and subscribe. Click on that bell notification to make sure that you don't miss out. So yeah, that is it from us today.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, thank you and good night.